we thought we should talk about something at the beginning of the show that was a little illogical. You know, fun, so illogical.
Okay, and what would that be?
Specifically, I want to talk about something that happened at the LA Auto Show this week.
I really wanted to go to that.
I did, but you know,
apparently we don't cover that.
We don't cover that. But I heard from Tim Stevens, because I was chatting back and forth with him. He said, you know, LA Auto Show is okay, but it was kind of quiet. He said, if you have to make an effort to go to a show,
Detroit.
Go to Detroit.
Yeah, that makes sense, because then Ford released all their new models, right. the truck, the supercar, and all that stuff. So that looked pretty cool. And you know, us and Tim, we're pretty tight.
We're
right?
pretty tight.
Yeah.
We're pretty tight. And you know, it's funny because we are a tech network, but more and more we find ourselves wanting to cover the auto side because it is increasingly connected.
Well, it doesn't hurt that we were already kind of gearheads, but the fact that cars are now getting smarter, you know, than most phones, you know, then there's more reason for us to want to cover them.
Exactly, which is why I thought one of the stories coming out of the LA Auto Show was very interesting in that it deals with a car that they've actually made dumber.
What?
Yeah, I know. Go figure. Specifically, I'm talking about the Lamborghini. This was the okay, I'm always going to mess this up because I want to say Huracan. I know it's like the Huracan. It's the name. It's like a Spanish name for bull or something.
You gotta
Huracan. Yeah. Now it was the replacement for the Lamborghini Gallardo.
Oh yeah, that's
which is a classic. It's a classic. It was supposed to be sort of the no frills supercar, although really most supercars are supposed to be no frills by definition, right? It's just the driving experience.
Yeah, and as frills, no AC, heating might be an option. You know, usually you get shook around a little bit. But
it's not a daily driver.
That's the price you pay for something that has, you know, millimeter thin glass, just so they can save like kilograms.
Exactly. You know? And actually, Alex, you've got a link here that you can scroll through. This is what it looks like. So I do like the styling on this. This was an all-wheel drive with a 7-speed LDF dual clutch transmission, naturally aspirated, which I love because it's not a turbo, so you don't get that, you don't get the whine, you get that sort of that throaty
growl.
Raw
power. Yeah.
Right, the raw power. It was a mid-positioned engine, which gave it really nice balance. 610 horsepower V10 engine, had a curb weight of just 3,100 pounds. So lots of power, not a whole lot of weight. It was a combination of aluminum and carbon fiber. Did 0 to 62 in 3.2 seconds, 0 to 124 in 9.9 seconds.
Not bad.
The thing cost $237,000. So yeah, okay, not a daily driver. Probably,
no, not a daily driver. Yeah. But I'm also surprised it's not a hybrid.
Exactly. We're seeing a lot of these supercars now go the hybrid route because that's just better. I mean,
the McLaren P1 is pretty famous for that now.
You add that electric motor, you get that low-speed torque, and you just scream off the line.
It's the best of both worlds.
It is the best of both worlds, but the thing with this Lambo is they wanted to keep the sort of the natural feel of a supercar. They wanted it to be it's supposed to be a little bit crazy, right?
Well, yeah, that's why you usually would buy a supercar if you could afford it.
Exactly, and they felt that, well, with all the electronics, it gets a little too safe. So they backed off on the hybrid system, and even the you could individually control the amount of power going to each wheel. That was dumbed down a tiny bit to give it more of a feel.
So this is kind of the Lambo for the purists, like us. So this is the next Lambo you're gonna get.
It was, yeah. This is my wish list. This was supposed to be the Lambo for the purists, but it wasn't. Actually, Richard Hammond from Top Gear, season 22, we both liked.
Yes.
Loved that series.
Top Gear is definitely one of our favorites.
Kind of
We've drawn a little bit of inspiration, I'd say, from that.
I think so.
On that bombshell.
Yeah, I think so. On that bombshell. No, but he said he liked it, but the problem is it felt too disconnected. You know, it was supposed to be crazy, and you couldn't really do anything to make the car go out of control, which you kind of, I mean, you need. I mean,
yeah.
He felt, and this was the worst condemnation I ever heard. He goes, this is a car for the new rich and the stockbroker. And like,
who just want to like have
show how cool
the
my
name
car is.
And yeah.
Right. Who will never drive it above 40 miles an hour.
Who won't take it to the track. Yeah.
Exactly. So at the LA Auto Show, and this is a long way of getting to this, they actually released the second version of this car. And it on the surface, it seems a little weird. They bumped it down from 610 horsepower down to 580 horsepower, which is kind of strange. Again, they backed off on some of the electronics, but here's the big thing.
Yeah.
The first one was all-wheel drive.
Most Lambos are.
Most Lambos are. This is a rear-wheel drive only, just two wheels in the back.
So they took out the power and they made a rear-wheel drive.
And they cut back a little bit on like the electronic handling and suspension.
Right.
So this is supposed to be like a purist car. You really, if you put your foot down, you will spin out. Which, you know.
So has anybody reviewed this rear-wheel drive one?
Oh, they just announced it at the LA Auto Show.
Okay.
I want Tim Stevens to review it. I want to see what happens when he puts his foot down.
And I mean, they dropped the price from $237 to $200.
Yeah. So now it's affordable. I can get two of them now.
Yeah, instead of buying that extra, now I have enough money to buy that extra Prius, when I'm not driving the Lambo.
Right. But this is interesting. The reason why I like this story is it's a little bit crazy. But we're always talking about more tech, better tech, making it more advanced. This is sort of saying, okay, wait. If we want this to be fun, we have to back off a little bit. Yeah, we could make this all-wheel drive. Yeah, we could make it so that the computer controls every little bit of minutia that goes on in the cabin to make sure that you never get in trouble.
Right.
But then what fun is it if we do that?
It's, taking all the risk out of it also makes it not as much fun.
Right. It's a driver's car, not a commuter's car.
Yes.
Of course, for $200,000, I don't know how many people will be commuting in this car.
I don't know either. I mean, for $200,000, if you really wanted the purest experience, you could always just do like the Ariel Atom, which doesn't have, any electronics, and it's basically just the open cart setup.
It's an engine with some pipes.
That's why I like motorcycles. They're also very inherently dangerous.
We've got Slow-Mo and Dr. Morbius in the chat room. Slow-Mo saying, well, 200K seems high unless it flies. And Dr. Morbius is saying, well, you need 610 horsepower to navigate LA traffic.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, if you've got an extra $200,000 and you want to buy a car that will try to kill you, then you need to pick up a Lambo Huracan.